Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Prime Minister Andrew Holness discusses vaccine take-up.
At the start of the local campaign, about 1.7 million people, or over 65% of the population, needed to be vaccinated to achieve herd immunity against the virus. But Prime Minister Andrew Holness has put the country on alert that the figure may have to be much higher because the virus has evolved.
We are at about 13% of Jamaica receiving at least one dose of the vaccine. That is far, far too low. We are not at a point where the vaccination is having an impact on transmission, and we are way from the 65% needed to attain herd immunity. And with the new Delta strain, it might be that the 65% isn't enough. We may have to go even higher.
The Prime Minister addressed the matter during the St. Thomas leg of his COVID-19 vaccine community tour. He also used the occasion to express his displeasure with the vaccine uptake among students. Mr. Holness reasoned that some parents were not entertaining the opinions of their children regarding the vaccine.
So the last statistics I saw was somewhere in the region of about 30,000. There would probably be about 40,000 now. I'm not pleased with that. I think we can have more children vaccinated, and my personal view is that there are more children who want to get vaccinated, but parents are standing in their way. Now, we can't interfere with the rights of parents over their children, but what we can do is continue the encouragement of parents to get their children vaccinated.
Supporters of the PNP and the JLP in the meantime are being asked to remember that the community vaccine tour is not a political event. The warning comes amidst early complaints from some observers about the presence of party supporters at the vaccine sites and in the communities visited by the politicians.
There will always be persons who will want to show their political support, and I had to be very strong on that in the planning and strong on that today, that there must not be any political characterization of what we are doing today. This is a national mobilization.
643 new COVID cases, 18 more deaths in Jamaica. Jamaica recorded 643 new COVID-19 cases and 17 more deaths on Sunday, according to the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The latest data brings total coronavirus infections in Jamaica to 71,987 and the virus death toll to 1,637. The ministry reported that the new cases comprised of 396 females and 247 males, ages ranging from 3 months to 105 years. The cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew 97, St. Catherine 87, St. Thomas 67, St. James 67, Clarendon 65, St. Anne 53, Trelawney 48, St. Elizabeth 43, Westmoreland 33, Manchester 31, Hanover 25, St. Mary 17, and Portland 10. Meanwhile, the ministry said the deaths occurred between September 1 and September 4. The deceased are a 91-year-old female from Kingston and St. Andrew, a 93-year-old female from Kingston and St. Andrew, an 87-year-old male from Kingston and St. Andrew, a 51-year-old male from Kingston and St. Andrew, a 31-year-old male from Kingston and St. Andrew, a 64-year-old male from Portland, a 39-year-old male from St. Anne, a 69-year-old male from St. Anne, a 47-year-old female from St. Anne, a 92-year-old female from St. Anne, a 66-year-old male from St. Elizabeth, a 77-year-old male from St. Mary, a 76-year-old male from St. Mary, a 71-year-old female from St. Mary, and 85-year-old female from St. Mary, and 88-year-old female from St. Mary, and 81-year-old female from Westmoreland, and a 74-year-old female from Westmoreland. There are 20,967 active cases after 114 people recovered from the virus. Also, the ministry said 699 people are presently hospitalized due to the virus, with 175 patients moderately ill, 121 severely ill, and 53 in critical condition. Online schooling concerns as school reopens today, September 6, 2021.
So when children are not going to school, not getting into that rhythm, some children will just not go back at all. Some of them will have started earning money to support their family. Some of them will totally disengage because of the frustration that they experience in this thing called online learning, which we shouldn't call it that. It was called emergency teaching response. Why? The teachers had absolutely no preparation.
Dr. Samaj says the average teacher does not have the qualities required for online learning.
What we need for that is a teacher who is a hybrid between a broadcaster and a master teacher. The average teacher doesn't have any of these traits. It's a total different persona you need to teach an online class than to stand in front of a classroom.
Tollgate residents blame highway project for flooding. Convinced that the work being done on the Clarendon leg of the new highway is behind the recent flooding of their homes, residents of Duke Street in Tollgate community last Thursday staged a loud but peaceful protest. Their Member of Parliament, Lowton Cousins, who represents the Clarendon Southwestern, is hoping solution will be found during a meeting this week with the project contractors. The opposition MP is also urging the government to listen to the residents' appeal for help. According to resident Carlos Robinson, there has been very little attention given to their warnings to project engineers so far as they work on the highway that will take traffic from Maypen to Williamsville in Manchester. I have been talking about this thing before this even start. We need an open drain, so when them come, they will have to clean back and front and build a proper one so the water can flow. Right now, the whole of me yard flood out. Picking everybody, me lose all me chicken. Nobody no come to we and say nothing, and we no stop block the road until justice is done, he vowed. Peter Edwards, who said he has been living in Tollgate since he has left high school, complained that this was the first time his house had been flooded, and so he was convinced it is linked to the work being done. It get from bad to worse. Mosquitoes biting the picnic them, and nobody come round here and say anything, not just promises, and that's it. We are going to take things in our own hands until we get justice and make them know say we serious, because we need a proper water drain, he stressed. One woman, who gave her name only as Jennifer, said the flooding was just the latest blow from the road work. Previous promises of compensation for dust and noise nuisance, she claimed, were not kept. We don't get nothing at all, and that was over 5 months ago, and we don't see nobody come. Some people house crack up, and now we flood out, she said. The MP, who stressed that the residents were not opposed to the project, said they simply want a solution found of the issues raised. Cousins said he has written to the contractors, National Work Operator and Construction Company, and they are working on meeting early this week to hopefully reach an amicable solution to the matter. These residents are anxious and are waiting the intervention of the NROCC, and I as MP stand with and support the people, he said. I'm asking NROCC and the government of Jamaica to take the concerns of the residents into account and to play any form of politics in respect of this matter. Oxford Street fire victims appeal for help from MP. Fire victims of Oxford Street are urging Kingston Western Member of Parliament Desmond Mackenzie to follow through on commitments that they said he made in the wake of Midsummer tragedy. The residents whose homes were consumed in the inferno about 4 p.m. on August 3rd said that they have not yet been contacted by Mackenzie or his aides, who reportedly inspected the premises on August 5th and offered assurance of a helping hand. Emerging from neighboring homes of family members and friends who have allowed them to temporarily share their dwelling, the residents said they were in distress. Mackenzie, they said, had instructed them to rid off the area of the carriage rumble for an estimate of the damage to be conducted and for materials to be procured to assist in reconstruction. A month later, the residents claimed that no official has returned to the location. Efforts to contact Mackenzie over the last 2 weeks have been unsuccessful, as calls to his cell phone had gone unanswered. Questions were also routed to him via email to the local government ministry, which he heads. Georgia Cameron, who lost everything in the fire, said that the residents feel forsaken. We no see back nothing. I'll know nobody no call, she said on August 20th. Cameron said the names, numbers, and other information had initially been collected. Checks with the residents on September 5th reveal that their fortunes have not changed. The fire, which was allegedly caused by faulty wiring, left more than 10 homes uninhabitable, with residents as young as 5 years old homeless. There were no deaths. Gregory Wright said that the afternoon of the blaze, he was alerted by the heat radiating from the flames, which caused him to spring to his feet in a bid to salvage a few items. He managed to save his work uniforms, a telephone, and a boombox before it became impossible to re-enter the premises. Ahead of today's start of the new academic year, mothers said that they were in desperate need of school supplies for their children to resume virtual classes. Terry Loban, mother of 4, lost all her family belongings, including important documents, in the flame. Terry said that it was her sister who has helped to put clothes on her children's back. We just expect a little help from somebody, 'cause things rough at this time, she said. Single mother of 3, Stacey Ann White, has no family home to which to turn. As a result, she has made a temporary home among the painful reminder of the tragedy afternoon. We kinda fix up a little part so we can go and stay, she said recently, referring to a half-burnt structure on which she mounted tarpaulin to shelter from rain. It was terrifying. I wouldn't like for anybody to go through something that I experienced, White said of the August fire. She also expressed dissatisfaction with food and other welfare gifted by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. White, who was affected by the flood rains of Tropical Storm Grace in August, is eager for help to find a home for her and her children, just to get back that comfort zone that I had before. As other hardships face the residents, including several rounds of no-movement days to curb the coronavirus outbreak, they express uncertainty about how they will survive. We have to buy food every day. Right now, we're not buying nothing for dinner, said one of the fire victims. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.